Why does status feel so good?
I think in this next 2 to 5 years, a lot of people who used to earn status by flying will discover that they won't reach it anymore.
I kind of put these new rules of smart travel, which is don't hoard points. Like status is emotional. It's nice to have, but points is strategic.
Yep.
Here we are, the Always Business Class podcast, and a big thanks to Allure Plus Explorer for making this possible. Today we are talking about points versus status. If only we could each have a hat. I'm very much status until I met this gentleman, Steve Hui, my co-host.
Maybe we should get a hat. Maybe we should have a
I'll get a red one.
One's called points, one's called status.
Yeah. So obviously being a travel entrepreneur, and travel is in my DNA for the last 40 years, dad being in aviation and then starting travel companies. For me, it was all about having the glistening card of gold or gold elite as a Kiwi. Air New Zealand was the carrier. You've got to be loyal, and you got to in 18 years. And this is the first year that I'm back to silver.
Oh, you let it go.
I've let it go. Thanks to you. So for me, status was about getting into the lounge. It was about getting to the front of the queue, getting the 2 upgrades confirmed each year. And I thought I was rolling. I thought this was everything until I met Steve in a lift, and he literally brought me down to ground zero pretty quickly in regards to, dude, do you know how much money you wasted for the last 18 years? We're still friends. We're actually business partners. But yeah, what do you think? And you see it every day for the last 12 years, people chasing status over points.
I can fully understand the desire of status because it gives you a key into your door. It's a bit the lounge, right? The lounge is a key in the door. So you got status, you're allowed inside. No status, you're outside. But the thing about it's just one way of getting enhanced benefits, status. So status is one way, but I've chosen to go the other way. So I'm not anti-status. So if I could have status and fly on points and save money, I'll have both. Like, why wouldn't you? Why would you not tick both boxes?
Eat the cake as well. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're actually 2 separate tracks because status you can only earn on cash tickets, paid cash tickets. Point seats don't earn status credits, apart from one thing, Qantas Points Club. We won't get into that, too complicated, but you can't normally earn status credits. So therefore, 2 separate tracks. But instead, when you use points, you save money. So I'm much more about saving money and have it in my pocket and making a choice about what to do with that money than put it over to status. In my mind, what status is you are spending cash, generally someone else's cash, actually. If you're spending someone else's cash, being your company's cash, then earning status is a freebie for you because you get the personal benefit of status. So if you're spending someone else's money, earning status is a smart thing to do. But if you're using your own money or your own company's money, then earning status is not the smartest strategy because there's another way. The other way is earning points and then using those points to fly confirmed business class.
But emotionally and psychologically, I thought I was saving money because those 4 upgrades.
You've got the freebies.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I thought I was saving thousands.
The freebies, you pay for those freebies.
Oh, I did pay for them well and truly for 18 years. Yep, totally.
So I think in my mind, that status is that if you're deliberately spending money to chase status, always comes down to being an accountant. And maybe that's just a skill or maybe not a skill.
Well, everyone wants to save money, right? Like when we have discovery calls, it's like, would you like to save money? No one's going to say no.
But everyone wants to save money, but sometimes people are spending more money to save money. And that's the roundabout way. So it's whenever people are sort of chasing gold status or platinum status, and I've had a few of these clients, actually really interesting. They go, well, I've got these points. I've got this trip to Europe. Book my family on points, but I'll pay cash because I need a status credit.
They don't want to lose the platinum.
You're going to pay $15,000 when your family's flying on points for $6,000. That means you pay $9,000 for that status. $9,000 can get you a whole heap of stuff. Not just. So that's
why does status feel so good? Like we've had our Monday night clubs and talked the psychology on a lot of things, but why does status feel so good? Like we're not just talking airlines here; we're talking everywhere, right? Like hotels,
exclusivity.
And you hate dropping out too. Like you see that little barometer going across, and when you log into your account, and you're like, I've got to do a status run here.
They're tapping into our human trait that status gives you access to enhanced resources. If you think about the tribes and things like that, the old days, having status means that you have access to resources. So to nowadays, the same human trait has taken you through. If you have status, if you have membership to clubs, you have membership, means that you can go into any time. It gives you access to enhanced resources. Resources being upgrades, food, drinks, or just someone to speak to fix your fly up and stuff like that. So that's what it is. And it's super smart, must say. It's I guess really what we're trying to say is replace your status with the Flights Club, get that membership card, and that's your ultimate travel advantage, because that solves your cash problem, solves flying business class.
We'll give you more events than Platinum Qantas, that's for sure. So the brutal truth about status and reward seats, I think, as well as many airlines are moving to cash accrual status, so it's based on how much you pay for it. Yeah, do you want to maybe like unpack that? As like it's getting harder and harder and more expensive to be able to retain.
I think in this next 2 to 5 years, a lot of people who used to earn status by flying will discover that they won't reach it anymore, because they used to be based on the distance of your flight. So you flew, Sydney and Melbourne, you will earn X number of status credits. It didn't matter how much the ticket price cost, it was based on distance. And they've always had the fact that if you pay more, then you get bonus, extra multiples of status credits. But nowadays, they're switching over. So Virgin switched over to spend-based. So the more you spend in dollars, the more points.
And
so
I think it's out there, right? I think it's like
26.
I don't know the numbers off the top, but they actually quoted on how much you have to spend to get there, which I suppose is okay that you know how much, but maybe that's the Achilles heel. It's like, okay, I'm spending X to get Y. And yeah, even in New Zealand, so probably one of the worst programs I think out there, and I'm happy to say it, being a patriotic Kiwi, is that, I think I was getting 3 status points across the ditch, when in the past that would have been 25.
Yeah, so much reduction. That's why a lot of people won't ever keep their status, because they can't. But of course, airlines will be quite clever. They will then give you bonuses, or run double status credits and stuff like that to give people a chance. But I feel it's just a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work because you're chasing this status, because most people's travel plans are not that set. It's not like, I've got one trip every month, and then I can just calculate the fact that I can, I'll earn X number of status credits for the year, and then I'll reach my goals. Because all it takes is a couple of trips that you had planned to go, but you didn't go, and now you're behind the 8 ball, because the worst is you get close to the new tier.
Oh yeah.
But you can't get there. So then what actions are you going to take to maintain that tier?
Status runs.
Yeah, you do the status runs.
Expensive status runs. Yeah. And I suppose what it's coming down to as well is that making the choice sooner rather than later. Otherwise, you just continue that roller coaster of spending more to get that status. And let's face it, these airlines it's their most profitable part of their business. Every airline is the actual loyalty side of things. And I'm exactly with you. Like, totally, if we could have points and loyalty at the same time, that's the magic combo.
Yes.
Definitely not discounting loyalty at all. Why do you think points are such a great currency, and the currency with fixed prices associated to it, especially after COVID, as we prices fluctuate hugely, and we're moving to dynamic pricing and all these new types of fares, even where you're searching is what you pay business class. So with points, it's fixed.
Oh yeah, this is one of the most awesome hidden benefits in plain sight. With airline frequent flyer programs, everything is listed on their website. So there's nothing hidden about it. It's just that most people don't really understand how to use it. So using points, one of the huge benefits is that the number of points to fly somewhere is actually priced on distance. So depending how far you go, that rewards table is set. It's a preset table that if you fly, say, 0 to 600 miles, which is basically distance between Sydney and Melbourne, they have preset number of points to fly economy, premium economy, business, and first class. Well, of course, domestically, there's no such thing as premium in first class, but the price is preset across all 10 zones. So all the way to Europe, every single price for every single class is preset. That means that whenever you book a reward seat to that zone distance, will cost you exactly the same number of points. So in a previous episode, we talked about getting a good deal. And I said, well, there's no such thing as a good deal. There's only one deal, because every time you fly Sydney to Melbourne, for example, and this takes Virgin, I know the numbers, it's 15,500 points to fly business class. Whenever you book that reward seat, always the same price. So now you have an opportunity for flat pricing, like fixed pricing. Is there anything in the world that's fixed pricing now? Nothing.
No.
Coffee's basically
Definitely
changing by the week.
Yep.
Of course, petrol, electricity, everything fluctuates, but the whole thing's generally price goes up. But points, imagine having the ability to fly, knowing exactly how much it will cost you.
And I definitely use that to Hobart coming up on the 17th of December, which is obviously school holidays, and looked at the cash price, and it was, I think, 450 economy or 620 business class. And then went into Velocity, and it was 15,000 points plus $44 to go business.
Well, okay, let's just drill down on that one. So 15,500 points for business class. You're swapping that for a ticket that sells for 630 something bucks.
Yep.
But the magic is you can get those Virgin points for under 2 cents each.
Yeah.
So let's just say 2 cents for ease of calculation. So 15,500 points costing you 2 cents each means that only about $300 something dollars.
Yeah.
So you basically swap $300 for $600.
So you're getting 2x the return.
2x at least.
Yeah.
And you can actually get Virgin points for cheaper than 2 cents.
And I think this is perfect segue into people with, there's two things we're going to touch on for the rest of the episode. Is one, I've got to pay to get points, and is it even worth it with my Amex surcharge or this surcharge and that? And you literally just worked out that calculation. It's like you can spend 2 cents and get 4 cents, and hey, what business investment, house investment, anything that you could invest 2 cents and get 4 cents back.
This is the great unlock, actually. This segue about talking about cost versus benefit. That, no one wants to pay fees, but I just think of like shares. If your mate in the pub said, hey, this share's 2 cents and go to 4 cents next week.
Or tomorrow.
If you trusted him, how much money will you put on that?
Oh, you double down,
And
triple
if
down.
you double, you triple down, you borrow money from the guy down the road to invest, because 2 cents into 4 cents is basically the basis of how the frequent flyer point system works. If you know what you're doing, if you're spending 2 cents to get points and then you redeem it for non-reward seats, then you're paying 2 cents. You only get half a cent back. That happens every day.
But I think people's psychology, and again, with having a chat to Angus beforehand, is that there's so much points sitting in people's wallets or across airlines. And I've got a good mate that is just sitting on bucket loads of points, because I think once or twice he's had that experience where he's like, I think I got half a cent, but I've been spending 3 cents to accrue these.
Yeah.
So they literally just go dusty in their back pocket.
So that's the same? I think maybe that's a human psychology trait, because that's the same as if you're buying shares. So I always like to think about the shares. You bought these shares at 2 cents each. They went up to 4 cents, and then they're now at half a cent. What do? Do you keep your shares or do you sell them?
Yeah.
That's exactly
We'll do a
the same
survey
type
on the
of
back
thinking,
of this one.
right? Because you've invested, you've gone, oh, well, I made a decision. So the worst thing about it is that feeling that you've done something wrong. So if you never sell your 2 cent shares, then you haven't done anything wrong. You're just investing. So, but now they're half a cent. Clearly, you've lost money. What are you going to do about them? So actually, most people will just keep the shares. They'll just keep the shares until one day they might be worth zero. It's better in your mind psychologically that you let them die than you take and crystallize a hit. And I think that's the same thing that's happening with people with frequent flyer points. Is they know that it's a bit complicated. They know there's more value. But if I'm going to use my points to book this flight, if they don't have Steve to talk to, how do they know that they get a good deal? So if they commit and use their 500,000 points to book a flight, they could be ripped off. but they only have themselves to answer to. So basically, that's sort of what the role that we play is. Like, people ask me, hey, I guess that's why we book it for them. We say that all the flights we book is the best value that's around. So we can be comfort that they use their points in the best way.
And I think that's what, 100% why the points concierge is still there, and it still operates with people that are sitting on these massive points. And it's why people use share brokers and they make their margin, right? It's like they're putting trust in that person's got
Doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing.
And so therefore it prevents them from screwing up, basically.
Yeah. So we prevent people from screwing up on points.
Maybe that's a new tagline.
New tagline. I think real stories, like I think right now social media, and it's just there's more and more of these Instagrams that are posting up stories about, hey, I flew for free, I flew this, is like, it's kind of putting a bit of a, hey, it's great, it gets people thinking about points, but it's not as easy as just scrolling down and seeing these free points. But maybe we can just share a few real stories from actually what happens and how long it takes to find points and that sort of stuff. It's not like we wake up in the morning and we go on and we find seats. Sometimes it takes 2 days. Sometimes it takes 5 days.
It could be anything. So there is always a chance there could be a seat there waiting for you. So of course I understand why they do it, because it's the traction model, clickbait. So if you're lucky enough to search, the seats are there, you book them, fantastic. But if the seats are not there, then what our team does is we actually search across multiple options. So let's take an idea that you're going to Europe, and just say you got these Amex points, that say Amex Platinum points that can transfer to multiple airlines. If you're going to Europe,
how many airlines can you roughly transfer from Amex?
12 airline partners.
Yeah, right.
So out of those 12,
so you got 12 rods.
Yeah, but not all airlines will fly to Europe. So you only consider the ones that fly. So you look at Qantas, you look at Virgin. So Virgin taps into the seats of Singapore Airlines and Qatar, but then you also will still look at Singapore Airlines and Qatar seats, because each airline has more inventory for their own members. You search on Emirates. You might also search on Thai. You might search on Malaysian, search on Cathay Pacific. You might search on British Airways. So now you start to think of, well, actually all these airlines all have seats that fly to Europe. Your points can go to all those airlines, but you have to go on the airline's website, each of them, to search.
And I think what you said at the start as well is that sometimes you're really lucky. And there are people out there.
There might just be the seat right there.
The social media people out there, even though they might have spent 20 days to find that seat, they'll still post it like they got it immediately, right? And I think our target persona obviously is business owners, and what's something we can't buy back sometimes is time. So people can't sit there for 20 hours searching, whereas we can. So that's when I think some people just go, it's too hard, and then they go and pay for a cash ticket.
I think
wait for the sale.
Combination of time and knowing what you're doing, because there's nothing worse than you doing something that doesn't work. When people go, oh, why are you searching 4 seats on Qantas for? They'll never have 4 seats. You're just you could do it for 600,000 hours, and you'd never find seats.
And let's talk about families as well. Obviously, that is, the more seats you're trying to get up the front is a bit trickier. So as we have some families that have older kids, it's sometimes a paper, scissors, rock. It's like there's so many options to get up there to be able to then, 2 adults and dad goes and mum.
Oh yeah, that's the way you split it around. Yeah,
split around. I think this is going to be a bit of a, I don't know if you want to dive into to anything else, Steve, on this episode, but I kind of put these new rules of smart travel, which is don't hoard points, be strategic around what you can do and what you can find, dream out in advance. Like status is emotional. It's nice to have, but points is strategic.
Yep.
Partly airlines matter more than the airline logo, which you kind of alluded on.
Different inventory. Yep.
Book early or be flexible. Your spend is the biggest advantage, and knowing how to optimize.
Yep.
Yeah. Consumers can win too with the right setup.
Yeah, well, everyone can win. The whole system's available for everyone. But it all comes down to, obviously, if you spend more, you earn more points. But there's 2 sides of it. Earning and using your points, that balance. Everyone can win. The system's there for everyone.
Yep. And the simple system beats random hacks.
Oh yeah, rent. I guess it's like, say, how we got this podcast studio. You can just walk randomly, or you can follow the routing, and the routing wins every time.
Yeah, and the biggest rule, I think, you don't need to be perfect. You just need a smart plan. So
Yeah, well, like the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail.
there we go. Well, thanks again for listening to another episode. This was a short one, but to the point, hitting on a lot of questions that we're getting out there. Again, a massive thanks to all the Core Plus Explorer for backing this podcast and backing the Flights Club. We're here to really just help more Australian business owners fly flat and never fly economy again. So thanks for listening.
See ya.